Hey, what's cooking, Jay?
Welcome back to Gunter's Kitchen. Today we're making Osso Buco. Osso Buco with a topping of Gremolata, and we also gonna make a soft polenta. That's where you're gonna put it on, and it's gonna be absolutely delicious. We've got these beautiful beef shanks with the bone marrow in it. So we're gonna fry them off, make a bit of the veggies for it, put some tomatoes on, some nice red wine, some spices, and then we're gonna put it in the Dutch oven, a couple of hours in the oven. And the meat is gonna be falling off the bone. The ingredients you will need is 2 onions, medium size, 6 short sticks of celery, 3 carrots, 3 cloves of garlic, and we're gonna dice everything up. We're gonna smash the garlic, and we're gonna chop the garlic. Smash the garlic, then we roughly chop the garlic. We're gonna cut the celery, and done. We're gonna peel the carrots. We're gonna cut them. Carrots, done. The same with the onions. You're gonna cut the onions, leave the back on when you cut them, and then start chopping them. Like that. And onions done. We're heating up the frying pan. Now we're seasoning our Osso Buco. Put 4 nice slices on our board, and we do salt, always salt, pepper before you put the flour on. Otherwise the flour makes your seasoning fall off. And we do the bows on both sides. We're using a little bit of plain flour, and we're just dusting it. Just dust it with the plain flour. Olive oil in, quite liberal olive oil in, and then we put the Osso Bucos in. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think it's time to turn. That's 1 turn. Now we're gonna take the Osso Buco out. It's enough color for my liking, that's fine. Look at them, nice golden brown. And then we're gonna add about 50 grams of butter. And we're adding our onions. While we're cooking the veggies now, that little Osso Buco in the corner, that can keep cooking. It has got color on one side, now we turn it. Now we just fry the onions until they become a little bit transparent. Then we're adding the garlic. Okay, so the meat is done. We can take that off. That's not nice and golden. You can turn this off. And now you can see the onions are perfect. They're actually already getting a bit of color. So it's time to add the garlic. Add the garlic. Let that roast through for about a minute. Then we add some red wine, some nice French from Bordeaux, which we can add a decent shot to it because that enriches the flavor of the sauce, and it also enriches the chef. Let's add the veggies. Celery and the carrots. The whole idea of roasting that through is to bring the flavors out. And the flavor is the most important part of this dish. The meat, the sauce specifically, because then you can eat the polenta with the sauce and it's just scrumptious. Okay, so now we're adding a nice shot of our Bordeaux. And we're adding 2 cans of tomatoes. Now please get some decent tomatoes. This tomato is 98% of tomato, a little bit of salt, nothing else. Don't get any rubbish tomatoes because you will know this in the flavor. So now we just mix that in. Now I've got a bit of a special thing here because this is my beef glaze. I made this beef glaze. There will be a video coming up. This is original beef glaze you use in restaurants. So this is reduced from about 40-liter beef stock, and it's rich and it's full of flavor. I put 2 tablespoons in there. Now this will give us even more flavor. So now what we're going to do is we let this come to the boil, and then we arrange everything in our Dutch oven. So this is coming to the boil. So now all we need is a bit of salt and some freshly ground pepper, and that will do. We put actually a little bit of sauce in first, then we put the first slice in, then we put more in, so the meat is not sitting close together. We've got sauce in between. We just top it all up with the sauce. We're just going to add a little bit of water, and we add our herbs. We've got some rosemary, we've got some thyme, we've got bay leaves, we've got peppercorns, and we've got some pimento. That all goes in there, and then we put the lid on. We put this in the oven by about 180 for about 2 hours. So let's take it out of the oven. Oh, look at this. Just look at that. It's still a bit bubbling, and how delicious does it look? So now we just let it settle for a little bit, and then we take out the meat and we finish the sauce. Okay, so the meat is done. So now we have to make our polenta, and we have to make our gremolata, which is the little dusting on top. In Italy, the southern part of Italy, they call the northerners polenta eaters, because that's the old Austrians. So we love polenta, we love semolina. So I know people make it with water, but I make it with milk because I like the full bodiness of the milk. So what we do is we use a half a liter milk, cold. We put the polenta in. In the meantime, I heat up another half a liter in the microwave, and we add 1 clove of garlic, finely chopped. Garlic finely chopped in. And then we're adding a bit more than a cup of coarse polenta. Of course, if you use instant, it's all different. And a bit. Okay, actually, that's all. Might as well finish it. All done. Now, the important part is when you start it cold, that means you won't get lumps. That's the main thing. All right? And then we're putting this on our flame. Okay, so now we're adding our hot milk straight out of the microwave, and we're adding a nice pinch of salt. As you can see, it's about to come to the boil, thickening up a bit. So now we're going to put it on a small flame at the back. We're adding our wooden spoon, and we just put a lid on it, and we just stir it occasionally. And the polenta is nearly done. We try it, so the grains, it's not hard in the grains. Okay, now the polenta has been cooking. So now we're adding a nice piece of butter, about 50 grams. Here we go. And now we let it cook for another 5 minutes. We're adding our cheese. And then we just put the lid on it, and we're gonna let it sit there while we make our gremolata. So I have picked the Osso Buco out of the sauce, and I've also picked the bay leaves and the rosemary out, so because you don't want to eat them. There might be a little bit of pimento in there. We can still pick out at the end, or we just leave it. So now the sauce is a bit too thick, so now we put it back on the stove and add some water. In the meantime, we make our gremolata. The gremolata consists of parsley, lemon, and garlic. And then we add some coarse sea salt onto it. And that's it. And that will be our garnish with extra flavoring for the top. Okay, so we're chopping our parsley. For this sort of job, it's good to use a bigger knife like that. You can go, and we put our parsley in here. Then we smash our garlic. 2 garlic cloves will be enough. And we chop them. And then we put it into the parsley. And then we grate about half a lemon. Not too far inside of the grater. Normally wash your lemons with hot water. We put everything together. And then we start chopping this. And a pinch of salt. This is an old classic Gremolata, Osso Buco Gremolata. An oldie but a goodie. Okay, so now it's plating up time. So use a nice spoon of polenta, and then we just turn it. Now we're adding our Osso Buco. And we're adding our delicious sauce. And last but not least, we're adding our Gremolata. All it needs is the magic thing, which is the olive oil. Freshly ground pepper on top. Your delicious northern Italian dinner is ready. Enjoy. My Osso Buco Gremolata with soft polenta from Italy. The recipe is in the description, so have a go. Try. Very easy to make and absolutely delicious. Rich, the meat falls off the bone, bone marrow, everything in there. Yummy. So, as always, please subscribe, follow us, keep notifications on, and see you soon at Gunter's Kitchen on YouTube. Don't forget, Wednesdays cooking and Saturdays baking. Also, every Monday, short TikTok for something quick we make. All right, I'll see you soon.